So here we are. This is my first of my Yule videos that I'm doing for my winter solstice. As you can see, I've got my Christmas baubles. I've also got a jar here with some berries and Christmassy pine cones and things like that, and it's everything for Yule, really. I've got some of my crystals that I want to use and some fur with berries on, my decorations with my stars and my pentagrams in. I've got my selenite and some Christmas baubles and a lot more pine cones underneath. I'm just going to light my incense now while I'm talking to you. So we'll get that underway. Why does it never light as well as it should when you're trying to video something? I've already cast my circle and I've already used my sage to cleanse everything on the altar. I've got some larger crystals down here, this side, and in this side I've got a candle with a crystal already in it, which I'm about to light now. I've used these colour candles for a particular reason. Got to be a bit careful with this one because he's got some seeds and things on the top and I don't want to set it on fire. Plus around the edge I've got some white feathers that just happened to appear over the last week. They just appeared randomly in my room. I've collected I don't know how many now, and I've put them in there. I've got a red candle because I want love and healing and blessings for the season. I've got a green candle because my focus of my intentions this year is to clear myself of debt. And so I've called my watchtowers and I've called my spirit guide and I've called my deities. And here we are now at my altar. And what I want to do is I want to reinforce once again my desire to be debt-free by Easter. Things have been going particularly well and I want to thank my gods and the universe and everything that's come into my life. I want to put out my gratitude and thanks to all my deities that have helped manifest that in my life. Things are moving in the right direction, which is positive, because sometimes I do wonder, you know, when you put these things out there, sometimes you expect it to be immediate. And we need to remember that it's not always immediate. Sometimes it takes time for that manifestation to happen. It's not going to be like necessarily a windfall overnight. It's going to take time for things to come into your life to manifest that and make it happen. It takes time to work down your debt. But what is nice that I've noticed is that I am trying to pay more than my minimum payment every month. And actually, I've found that I've been able to do that and still have money left over, which is not something that I've noticed before. So something somewhere is working in my favour and answering my prayers and my blessings. In my cauldron, I have got some of my own hair and I've got some of my own nail clippings. And in the bottom, there is the written note that says, I am debt-free. Not I want to be debt-free, not I need to be debt-free. I am debt-free. And that's what some of us forget when we're doing this, is we have to speak it as if it's already happened, as if it's already manifested in our lives. So money flow. Money flow. As I light this and watch it glow, money come into my life, make me debt free for the rest of my life. Money come, money flow. As I will it, so mote it be. And I thank each and every one of my ancestors, each and every one of my deities. I thank my watchtowers for protecting me within my circle. I thank the universe for carrying my manifestation and for letting it be. I am so grateful. This is not a massive ceremony. This is just a ceremony to say thank you for the year, to welcome the sun back into our lives, to see the winter through, to say goodbye to the darkness and the return of the light. And with that, I will let my watchtowers go. I will release the spirit in the center. With thanks, I let you free. I release the air to the east. With my thanks, I set you free. I release the fire to the south. With my thanks, I set you free. I release the water to the west, and with my thanks, I set you free. I release the earth, my grounding. I release you from this ritual and set you free. I thank all of my deities. I haven't called every single one, but I can feel them close. And I thank them for being present, for being here with me for this manifestation of this ritual and this spell. Thank you to the Morgaine. Thank you, Sir Nanas. Thank you, beloved Bastet. Thank you, Selene, the moon goddess. Thank you, each and every one of you. Thank you to Athena, who sends her owls to watch over me at night. I hear them hooting in my trees. I see their eyes beaming through the branches, now that the leaves are gone. I thank you all, and I release you. I am debt-free. I will walk tall. The amount will swell. It will not be small. I ask to be debt-free. As I will it, so mote it be. Thank you. I take my breath and I extinguish the candles in the order that I lit them, in reverse. Oh, this one doesn't want to go. No, it doesn't want to go. Wow. Maybe it's telling me I need to watch the flame for a while. Maybe I'll just sit and watch the flame for a while. So beautiful, the element of fire. It has such a magical enchantment to it. It can be dangerous. It can be needed. It can cook for us. It can warm us. It can cleanse. It can burn away past fears. It can carry things in its flames. And from the time I was a little child, I used to sit and watch. We used to have something called a park ray fire in my mum and dad's old house. And we moved from that house when I was about 7 years old. So you can imagine how young I was, and yet I still remember sitting cross-legged on the floor. And I found that quite hard because I suffered with arthritis from the age of 7. But I found that such an awesome thing to do, just gazing into the flames as they danced around. It was wonderful, absolutely wonderful. Sometimes I'd see shapes. Sometimes the flames would flicker, sometimes they'd be tall, sometimes they'd be short, sometimes they'd be fat, sometimes they'd be thin. But they danced and weaved their way, working their magic behind the glass, just like this candle is now. It's incredible, absolutely incredible. I love fire. I feel close to water. Water, I would say, is probably my main element. And that's something I'm learning about now. I want to do some scrying with water. And I'm reading up on that now because that's something I haven't really done in my craft to now, when I've been practicing a long time. But just watching this flame, slow and steady. I'm going to extinguish it now. And then I'm going to go and leave you with this lovely video. I'm afraid it's very short and very sweet. I'm sorry about that, but I'm quite limited today on the amount of time that I can give to my craft, and it frustrates me that that is the case. So I'm working on moving after Christmas, or trying to find somewhere to move to after Christmas where I can be on my own all the time and actually practice when and where and at whatever time of night or day I want to. That's my ideal dream. But that's going to come in time. That's going to come in time. I need to be debt free in order for that to happen. And although I haven't got that much, because I have been working at paying it off this year while the pandemic's been around, it's something that needs my attention a little bit more. So I'm going to bid you farewell, and I'm going to attempt to blow out this candle if it will allow me. And there you go. And still it glows and drops. There, it's gone. How amazing was that? I love it. I'm now going to go and consult my candles and my flame readings and see what that means for me. I've still got some incense burning, and I'm going to leave that. Hopefully, I'll tell you what, I find sometimes these incense sticks are not ideal because they, bless them, they don't lie straight in the hole. And so when they fall, as you can see here, well, I'm assuming you can see here, there's embers behind. And I don't like that because I think that's a fire hazard, really. That one's landed, that's okay. What I might do is I might just take that and pop that out for a minute just to be safe, because I'm going to leave the room, and I don't, not only am I going to leave the room, but I've also got cats, and I don't want my cats to injure themselves. So I'm going to put that, as I always do, into my cauldron and make sure it's gone out. There is some hair still in the bottom of there, along with the ash. And I made it more personal to myself because very often I will put herbs and things in my spell jars and in my cauldron, and I will burn my intentions on paper. And it's great to do that. Absolutely wonderful to do that. There's nothing wrong with that. But I think sometimes if it's something for yourself, everybody has to trim their nails. Everybody brushes their hair and has hair come out in their hairbrush. And that's all I've done. I've taken my nail clippings. I've taken my hair from my hairbrush, and I've been popping them into my cauldron. And then I knew that it was going to come a time when I'd be ready for Yule, and I'd want to use those materials along with my intentions. And I think for all the beautiful witchcrafty, witchery things that you can have, and I can't say that they're not beautiful, because they are. I love them. I love being able to dress things up. I love being able to lay out my altar and place things upon it that are special to the occasion. But you need to remember that that doesn't have to happen. If you can't afford it, like I used to not be able to afford it, I literally started with a tiny little cauldron, which I've still got actually. I haven't bought a bigger one, even though I'd love a bigger one, because I'd like to use it outside. I just carry my little one out with me, and I had a tiny little cauldron. I've got a handful of crystals that I love, that are my absolute joy, and they're with me all the time. And then I've got my candles, really, and I do a lot of candle magic, if I'm honest, an awful lot of candle magic. I'm just going to pop the lid on that cauldron just in case anything does happen to be still hot in the bottom of there. Mainly because of my cat, my little familiar Safi. She's beautiful. But I don't want her coming and nosing around, because she does like the smell of incense sometimes, and the sage is a complete and utter draw. So you have to be really careful if you're using sage and you have pets, because it does seem to attract them. And it's fine when it's cold, but it's not so good when it's still smouldering and hot. So be a little bit careful with that. The one thing I think is the most important thing, especially as a new witch, you see all these weird and wonderful things, you hear all these stories, and you think about the fact that, oh my goodness, I really should have all of those things. No, not necessarily. You can use any candle, you can use any space, you can put it in a cereal bowl, as long as it's fireproof. You can use terracotta base of the plant pot, the things that keep the water in underneath. You can use anything like that. Don't use plastic because it's not effective. Always go for glass or china, but make sure it is fireproof before you use it, because I would hate for anything to crack and break and then cause you a bit of a problem. You always got to remember health and safety. But the most powerful thing that you actually have is yourself. And you need to remember that. The most powerful tool in your witch's toolbox is you. And as long as your mind is in the right place, your heart is settled, you know what your intention is, you're clear about it, you speak it as clearly as you can. Don't leave any room for doubt. Be as clear and as to the point as you can. Then burn your intention. And if necessary, you let it go in the river, let the water take it away. You can take it out and let it go on the wind. I've done that a couple of times. In fact, I did that back on Samhain on Halloween. I actually burnt 5 things from my past. And I did a little video recording them, but I didn't really post it. I don't remember if I posted it. I may have. If I did, I'm shocked I did. Because I'm not a very brave person. Although people say I'm really confident, I'm paddling like a mad underneath. I'm, graceful swan on the top, but my legs are going a million to the dozen underneath. So don't ever be afraid to ask questions. Don't ever be afraid to try. If it doesn't work, then you just reinvent it. You move it, you change it. You rewrite your spell, you make it a little bit more to the point. There's no science about this. There's no right or wrong way to do it. I've had new witches come onto the school site and say to me, is this okay? What does this mean? Can I do that? Can I do this? You can do whatever you want to do, as long as you are knowledgeable about what it is you're planning to do. So make sure that you've done your learning. Make sure you've done your reading. Make sure that you've made notes. Make sure if you're going to do a spell, you've got it written down so that you can read it. Especially if it's a long spell, because the chances are you may not remember it. It can be short and sweet, like mine just has been. It can be long and drawn out. I mean, there are times when I've got laminate flooring where I am at the moment, and it's wonderful to be able to actually make a circle of salt. I love to make a circle of salt and then place my candles at the 4 quarters, my watchtowers, and something in the center, my altar in the center, and it's incredible. But the chances are that doesn't happen all day every day. That's something special that I do on an occasion when it deserves it. This year I've been working mainly on the people around me, sending out positive vibes, hoping that the pandemic will ease so that we can all come out of lockdown and have a bit of our lives back. I don't want it to be a free-for-all at Christmas, to be honest with you. I think that people that mingle at Christmas are foolish, because there are new variants out there and it is spreading, and none of us are immune, however much we like to think we are. None of us are immune to this, and I would like to see us all come through and out the other side, and be vaccinated and be safe. Will it ever leave us? I don't know is the answer. I don't have all the answers. Magic is not a be-all and end-all to everything, as much as I would love it to be. I'd love to be able to wave my twisty, swirly wand and make everything perfect, but it doesn't work like that. But as long as my heart's in the right place and my intentions are pure, and I keep focusing on those intentions throughout my spell, even when I'm talking, my mind is focusing on what it is I need, what it is I want, what it is I say that I have already, and I speak it with the authority that it's already in my life, because it will be. And if I continue to hold on to that, it will manifest. I may have to say it several times. I may have to say it in different ways. I may have to make another spell pouch, but I know that it's working for me. And that's all I need to keep me going. So I'm going to let you go now. Have a wonderful Yule. I hope everybody's had a fabulous holiday. I hope everybody's enjoyed the celestial events that are going on with Jupiter and Saturn aligning, and making the Christmas star. I hope you've had the chance to see it. If you haven't, because of cloud cover, because I know it's been quite cloudy here in the UK, if you haven't been able to see it, apparently the skies, especially if you're in the UK, over the UK, are supposed to be clear on Thursday evening, Christmas Eve. So you may have another chance to see it then. It's still there. They're still in alignment, and it's bright. So be prepared. Enjoy your Christmas. If I don't speak to you before, have a wonderful Yuletide. Celebrate safely, people. My witches and wolves, I need you in the new year. So please keep yourself safe from harm and stay blessed. All the best. White Wolf.